Good evening, Americans. This is your favorite alien, and Bubba, but Bubba is taking a well deserved rest. He's in his house sleeping. But I wanted to do a commentary tonight on a program that was aired on ABC television. Station 19, today, April 22nd, 2021. Just finished watching that program. And I don't know what they were trying to do in that program, but most of the program was bad. Okay? Because they're trying to make the African Americans the victims. And there is no victim here. They had a guy that portrayed an Asian. And he was wondering why nobody ever looks at the Asians because of the COVID-19. That they're getting victimized. The Asians have always been victimized. It's just that they're not like the African Americans that will be out there raising hell and destroying property and marching. That's why you get victimized, African Americans. You don't get it, do you? This program tried to make you as a victim. Nobody's a victim here. Everybody's at fault. Everybody's guilty. Okay? You all do the same things. There was this one actor on the program who plays, I believe his name is Gibson, who was a demoted firefighter there. He was a battalion chief and got demoted because he was bad and had drugs. If you watch Station 19, you probably know who I'm talking about. And he's the only thing in that program right that ABC did right, because he said, quote, I want to be seen as a human being, not because of color, not because I'm African American, not because I'm black, not because I'm married to a Hispanic, but me, for who I am, for what I do. And then he was saying that because he's a firefighter, there was people that wanted to not be saved by a black firefighter. And that is the best thing in that program. That there hits the issue in the nose. A human being, whether you're African American, Asians, Latin, Caucasian, he, she, he's, or what's it, you are human. And no sense of marching, no sense of protesting, no sense of destroying property is going to change anything. The only thing that will change in your society is if you sit down with each other and say, do we really want our next generations to be this way? And then this one African American was saying that, the lady that was playing the part of the therapist, she was saying it's a crime. Slavery is a crime. And that you got 34% of the African Americans incarcerated, and they only occupy 13% of the population. There's a reason for that. And you should have, ABC, you should have not even put that on television, because that's gasoline on the fire. African American communities are so disjointed, it's not even funny. Latins aren't anywhere better either. Neither are Russians and neither are Caucasians. You get disjointed communities. Hell, today, in a major city, there's no such thing as neighbors. You just occupy the same space. And there is hate all over the place. Like I told you in the other videos, there's hate here in this Georgia that I've seen from people who hate the Yankees because of the war. Meaning the people of the North, Yankees. Not the New York Yankees, okay? Yeah. Everybody hates the New York Yankees, I know that. Yeah, me too. I'm a Mets fan. But seriously, here, Americans, your problem is your society is a disaster. And there is no such thing as African American. There's no such thing as Asian American. You guys decided to live in this country as a human being. Therefore, you should have a culture of human beings. And to ABC, when you brought in the 13th Amendment there, and she's trying to make it like everybody is a slave, and the law made it a slave, so we're still slaves because of the 13th Amendment. Just watch the program and you see what I mean. What she doesn't understand, and I don't think the producers of ABC understood this when they did this show, this program for Station 19. The 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendments were done by the radical Republicans as a punishment to the South. They didn't know, okay, once you freed the slaves, what are you going to do with them? You can't bring them into our society just with those 3 amendments. You can't bring them into society 100 years later in 1965 with the Civil Rights Act. That didn't help either. You can't bring Asians in here, or people like AOC, which represents the Latin, she says. Boy, she does a disgrace to the Latin people. Or Omar and Tlaib, they say do the disgrace to the Muslim people. You can't live in an enclave. You can't live separate but equal. You want a society, you have to be amalgamated and assimilated society. You keep your ancestors alive, but you don't live their lives. You live yours. You're in a different time. And you keep some of the traditions alive, some of the music, food, the way of thinking, but most of it is going to go. There is no ands or buts. Look at the Egyptians. There's still Egyptians, generation after generation after generation, that can go back to the pharaohs. But do they know about their pharaohs? No, because they have gone through different changes during a century, century after century after century. And now they're Muslim, for the most part. There's a few Copts there and other type of Egyptians. But I'm using them as a test case here. They're still there. The Egyptians didn't go anywhere. They didn't go off history. They're still there. Same with the Romans. Italians. In Italy, Romans. They're still there. Their descendants are still there. Is there anything Roman about it? Well, yeah, the Roman Catholic Church. Yeah. But you see what I mean? My society and my planet died almost 1,300 of your years ago when they blew themselves up. Except for 500,000 who found another planet 1,000 light years away. And here's what I'm trying to tell you, Americans. We had to get rid of all our pigmentations. Like I said, we had 18 pigmentations. Only 4 made the journey to the home planet. 4. That means 14 are forever gone. And the way you African Americans and you Caucasians and you Asians, your pigmentation will be forever gone if you keep going this way. And if you put programs like you did with the Station 19, they should have put a program in there that everybody is guilty and everybody has some responsibility in this mess. And look at what happened. No sooner had George Floyd been buried, and a year later, Mr. Chauvin, the first of the officers, been put in trial, and no sooner had the ink dried on his verdict that you had another issue in Columbus, Ohio. This is what I'm saying about your society. Where is the people that get rid of your watermelons or brains and come up and say, oh, I got a bell that rang in my brain, and they went bingy da bingy da bingy bing 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 bing. We got to get together and sit down, and we got to discuss. And it's going to be hard. You're going to have to get rid of being black, being white, being Asian. But in return, you get a human society. You don't have to get rid of your music. You don't have to get rid of your food, but you have to get rid of your way of thinking. I'm not black. I'm a human being. I'm not white. I'm a human being. Okay? We had to do that. It took us 3 of your centuries to get where we are today. That was 900 years ago. And in the 900 years, we've changed. We still keep some of our ancestral planet, but it's probably now, well, maybe 80%. Because we have another 20% that we've gotten that time from our friends, other humanoid societies, insectoids, and some of the stuff is good for us. They've taken some of the stuff that we had and incorporated it into their societies. It's like here in America. 100 years ago, a white person would not touch a taco, let alone Chinese food. When they were building the Continental Railroad in 1869, you hardly saw any whites eating Chinese food, right? Yeah. Can you imagine? That would have been sacrilegious to them. Yes. We can't live like the Jewish people who are always living in enclaves, always make themselves separate. We can't do that. We are one society, one planet. You must develop a society for that. We had to in our society. When we went to our adopted home planet, we only used 20% of that planet. 20%. That's all we use. And we make sure that our home planet has only a limit, maximum of 3 billion people. We haven't got there yet. We're only at 1.6 billion. Because it's taken us this long to rebuild after the 14 billion went boom. Are you guys going to do that, or are you guys going to go down in flames? And it looks like you want to go down in flames. But it's up to you. I can't tell you what to do. I can just tell you what you're doing and how stupid you are. And like I said, it's going to be hard. Because you got your issues. You want your hate and you want your anger. You got to get rid of that. You don't get rid of that, there'll be a lot more shootings, there'll be a lot more killings. And the more shootings and killings you are, the more hate and the more anger. Is that what you want? Really? This is your favorite alien. Bubba is snoozing. Good night.